Hello, my beautiful, perfect, angelic angels. Now we are back with episode 18, Who the Helly Did I Marry? So it is New Year's Eve and Takis has to work, and he's promised me that he's going to come to our friend's big party after he gets off work at his Greek restaurant in Beverly Hills. I was thinking that he was probably going to get off around like 10 or 9 and be able to have a nice little smooch with me on New Year's Eve, but this is what happened because obviously things never go according to plan in the world of Takis. So my friends have this huge house in Encino that they were renting out. It had this big ass pool. It was 3 stories, and they basically had made every single level a different level of fun and just like theme. And if you want to know where Encino is comparatively on the map from Beverly Hills, it's far away. So it's probably going to take like an hour-ish for Takis to get there at that time after he gets off of work. But I was like, great, we're going to figure it out. It's going to be a fun time, and at least I'll be able to see him after he gets off work. So I had gotten ready to go to the party, and I was wearing this really cute fringe top. It was a little like green fringe. It was vintage Bebe, and it had green fringe, a little like rhinestone kind of like buckle at the top, and then white fringe and black fringe. So it was green, white, and black, sparkly. And then on the bottom, I was wearing a really short little black skirt, knee-high boots, and my hair was snatched to the gods in some like fucking awesome ass, long snatched ass hair that would have made 2000s Ariana Grande very proud. Because, you know, I wanted something that had a little shimmy and shake. So this group of friends that was throwing the party, I call them my power gays because they are all gays that are in their like 50s to 60s that are seriously powerful people. They were in their like 40s to 50s then at that time because this was like 7 years ago or so. They have the power gays who are all single, and then they have their friends that they all grew up with that are all like married, but their kids are out of the house and everything. And these people party, y'all. Like, they are who I want to grow up and be later in life because they have grown up money. Their kids are grown. Some of them don't have kids, and they just go out, live their lives. They travel, and they've been friends for a long time since they were probably in their 20s, and they have seen each other through all the phases of their lives. So it's very cool to hear their stories, and I love them so much. And I'm kind of like their little baby princess, and Takis and I got kind of like adopted into their crew because we had met them through one of the Broadway singers who's kind of like my mentor. I'm not a singer, guys, but he became like my mentor and like my dad figure, and he was in that group when he introduced me. So they were like, the party's starting at 9, and it was great because the timing was going to be well with Taki since he was probably going to get off around 10 or 11. And they were like, but you should come early so that way you can have pre-drinks with us before everybody gets there. I'm like, great. So I take an Uber over there to Encino, and the house is immaculate, y'all. On the bottom level, they had this insane huge charcuterie board with like flowers and sparklers and New Year's Eve decor and hats and cheeses and nice little wines and everything. Because y'all know that the gays know how to party and make sure that everything is top level, top notch. Tons of wine, tons of alcohol. They had a DJ that was hired. So the way that they had broken up each theme was the bottom theme was like the chill place where you could sit. The music was a little bit low. You could kind of chat with your friends. There was a DJ, and it was where you could kind of vibe and actually have conversations if you wanted to. Second level had the dance room. That was the dance room if you were doing party favors. So like lots of lights and colors and music, things that titillated your senses. Retro, Swedish techno beats, right? So you could just go in their vibe and not really talk to anyone, but just kind of like feel the beat. And then there were a couple guest rooms up there if you wanted to kind of have a little privacy time. Third level was near the rooftop, and that had all the board games. There was card games. There was a poker table that people were playing poker on. And then there was also bedrooms that also you could get some privacy in. And then there was one other room that was near the balcony. That was kind of the room that you could just kind of sit, hang out. If you wanted to be away from the crowd, kind of vibe a little bit, very low music. And there was also a pool table in there. And that was next to one of the bigger balconies. There were like 6 balconies. I mean, this house was outrageous. But that one had a balcony that opened up, and you would stand on the balcony and you could see the whole city of LA and overlooking the pool. It was really beautiful. So that was the pool table room. So each level had a dedicated thing. There was also a chef on the bottom floor that was like making up steaks and pasta. And it was just honestly one of the best New Year's parties that I've ever been to. I walk in with 3 of my other friends that had arrived at the same time, and I'm like immediately amazed and never surprised by how much they go out, and they greet me. They're like, here's your cute little like New Year's Eve hat. And I go, I have a little drink. They make me one of their cocktails. It was like a signature New Year's cocktail. I think it was like a blackberry smash or something. Very good. And I'm just chatting with them, and they're like, hey, like, how's it going with Takis? And I kind of tell them what's going on, and they were very close with him as well. So they loved us both, but I was actually more close with them, so they knew that if anything was going to happen, then they were always on my side. But, you know, my gays were like, hey, look, like, what is going on with y'all? So I kind of tell them about Veronica. I'm catching them up. And they're like, look, at the end of the day, he loves you deeply. And we know that he always has your back. And, even though he has had some indiscretions in the past, like he's just a man and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, yeah, like let's not really talk about that a lot. Let's just like vibe and have a good time. So it's probably now around, I want to say 10 p.m. and the party is like popping. Like there's tons of people there. One of our friends walks around with party favors and he's like, okay, I've got this and this. One is going to make you want to dance and have a good time and vibe. And one is going to make you want to dance, have a good time, and then like maybe see some friends around, right? I'm like, oh, okay. I don't like to see random friends and I don't like things to last a long time. So I'm like, I'm going to go with exhibit one so that I can just have a good time, vibe, chill, dance, be happy, love on my friends. That way I don't have to get too intense because I know that Talkies is going to come as well. And I don't want to be too 5 sheets to the wind when he gets there so that I can actually enjoy my time with him. My friend hands it to me. I take it. I want to say now it's about like 10:30 and I'm starting to feel good. I'm starting to feel real good. I'm like touching my friend, we're snuggling, we're laughing, we're like going through all the reasons we love each other and the soliloquies on why we are going to be together forever. And I'm on the dance floor, I'm kind of dancing. And one of my friends is next to me and he's like, hey, do you want some water? I'll never forget this moment. I was like, yes, I'm really thirsty. He's handing me a water. It was a clear bottle of Voss water. He's handing it to me. As he's handing it to me, some of the water is sloshing. I'm looking at the water sloshing and I'm looking at lights reflecting from the DJ booth on it. And suddenly the lights start like going into the water and raising up and a rainbow is sprouting out of this bottle, y'all. So I'm like, whoa, that is unexpected. I'm like, what is happening? Because I definitely took party favor number one, which has no seeing random things. It's just to make you feel good and vibe and want to like touch your friends and feel very loving. Why am I suddenly having a little bit of a hallucination here? Again, kids, do not do as I do. I'm like, whoa. My friend's like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm seeing some stuff. He goes, oh, what are you seeing? I look up at him. As he's saying that, his mouth is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And he's looking like the Joker. And I'm scared now. I'm like fearful. I'm like, oh no, they're taking a turn for the worse. My brain is doing stuff. I don't like this anymore. I am fully not well now, y'all. I am having a bad, bad time. I'm like, oh my God, I'm freaking out because I'm like, what happened? And they're like, oh, you accidentally took the wrong party favor. We gave you the wrong one. You're in for it now. I'm like, oh, these are the words that someone does not want to feel or hear whenever you are now immersed in the situation deep in the trenches. So they're like, don't worry, we're going to take care of you. Two of my gays grab me. They bring me up to level 3. Remember, level 3 is where they've got the board games and stuff, and then they've got the pool table room. They take me to the pool table room where everyone's just kind of like, there's like 3 people sitting in there. There's 2 of my friends and then one guy. He's this German man. Love him to death. We're going to call him Victor. And Victor is a like Iron Man champion and he's a very cool dude. And he's like probably was in his maybe late 40s. Now he's like in his 50s. And he was just sitting on the couch. And next to him on the couch, he was just vibing, right? He was just sitting there vibing like, woo. He's one of those guys, I think because he's European, he's very good at like feeling the waves of your journey and just going along with it. And he's just got a very calm, be like water energy. So he's sitting there just like vibing on the couch. And the music in there is very chill. And the lights are like a little bit high, but not too high. And everyone's just kind of sitting there being very mellow. And next to him, he's got this helmet that's got Bullwinkle ears. So you guys remember like the Bullwinkle, the moose cartoon? It was a helmet with the ears on it. And I was looking at that. I'm like, why is that there? That was sitting next to him. And then a bunch of like New Year's Eve party favors and hats and stuff. They bring me over and they're like, Victor, Kat is having a bad time. He's like, don't worry, I will take care of her. They're like, great. They literally hand me off to this huge German man. And he just like grabs me and cradles me like a little baby. And he has my head in his lap. And he's like stroking my hair. And he's like, just listen to the music. Don't think about anything else. And I'm like, no, I'm freaking out. I am freaking out. Like, I need to rip my skin off. And he's like, don't think about that. You're fine. I'm like, can you please call Talkies? I don't know where he is. He's like, don't worry. Someone is calling him. They're finding out where he is, but you're good. I'm like, I'm not safe. I'm not safe. I'm not safe. This is like the Hangover scene, you guys. Oh my God. I am seeing demons and the Lord and leprechauns and children screaming at me. And it is a bad time. And he's like, just close your eyes. Listen to my voice. I'm going to tell you a story. If I close my eyes, I'm going to start seeing some heinous clowns. And he's like, okay, just look at the ceiling. There's a ceiling fan. Watch the ceiling fan. I'm going to tell you a story. You're going to relax. It's going to be great. I'm like, great. So I'm laying there, and this man proceeds to tell me one of the most horrendous stories from his childhood in Germany that I have ever heard. He had accidentally killed his friend's cat and then had to hide it from his friend. And for some reason, while he's telling me this story, guys, which is horrifying, I'm weirdly comforted because of like the sound of his voice. So I'm not really listening to the details of this horrific, mind-boggling story. I'm just kind of listening to his calm voice and his very abrasive accent that's telling me. I'm listening to this. I feel something being placed on my head, right? And I just feel the pressure on my head starting to kind of relieve whatever stress was there. And he's like, good, good, good. He's like stroking my hair and everything. And all of a sudden, I just hear one of my friends go like, hey, we got a hold of Talkies. I pop up out of his seat. I look at him. I'm like, where is he? He goes, so he is going to be a little bit later, unfortunately. I'm like, what time is it? And they're like, it's 11:45. I'm like, wait, but he's not going to be here to like kiss me on midnight. And they're like, yeah, sorry, but he said that he had to do something and he has to like go for a drink with his coworkers because of the fact that there's a few people left there and he just needs to wrap things up. I'm like, suddenly have this horrible feeling. I'm like, what if that hoe ass Veronica is there? This is not good. So then I'm freaking out again. I'm like, no, 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 no. And they're like, calm the woman down. Calm the woman down. They're like, you're fine. You're fine. One of my friends bringing me ice. He's putting ice on the back of my neck. I'm like, no, no, no. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm starting to have really bad thoughts. Now I'm having images in my brain of him and her ocean ass blue eyes that match the wall swirling together. And I just get up and I realize that I need to jump in the pool. I need to cleanse my aura and things. In my messed up state, y'all. Again, kids, do not do as I do. Seriously, I am an advocate for like what not to do in this world. I get up. They're trying to grab me. I run towards the balcony. I rip open the door. And all I can think is I need to jump into the pool. I'm on the 3rd floor, y'all. I run, and as soon as I run, I just feel myself go like this. Boink. And I fall backwards. I literally was wearing the fucking Bullwinkle helmet Victor had put on me. They got caught in the doorway, pushed me back, and I propelled backwards and fell on the ground. As soon as I hit the ground, it was as though I had like minorly sobered up and I suddenly realized what was going on. And I just hear, as clear as day, this voice lives in my head. And if I was a DJ, I would make a beat track with this drop in it. Victor just goes, see? And that's why we wear the Bullwinkle helmet for safety. Like, so good, right? They end up getting me food. I sober up. I'm able to like be a little bit better over the party. But now it's probably like, I want to say 1 a.m. I am not wearing that dumbass Bullwinkle helmet anymore. My gays all kissed me at midnight, which was great, but there was no talkies. I even tried to call him to see if I could chat with him on FaceTime while this was going on. Obviously, he didn't answer. And I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I am going to enjoy myself. After I had recovered from my bad trip, I ate some food, I was having some drinks, and I was just like dancing with my friends. And one of my friends goes, hey, do you want to stay up and watch the sunrise? I was like, absolutely. So we all party till the sun rises, and we're just sitting on this gorgeous, gorgeous lawn overlooking a pool in beautiful Encino, tons of land around us, overlooking all of LA, all of the city. And we're just sitting there and I'm snuggling with my friends. We've got a big blanket around us. We're just having some champagne, laughing. My hair probably looked crazy. I think I was at this point wearing someone's pink wig with a fucking crown on top, just watching the sunrise. And I was just thinking, you know what? I didn't even miss Talkies. Like, if he didn't feel like this was important enough for him to be here, and they were like, well, maybe his phone died, and I had checked his Find My Friends, and I couldn't find him, so it was like unavailable because we were also up in like the hills of Encino, so I thought maybe there wasn't reception. And at this point, I just kind of didn't care. At that point, I'd lost my phone somewhere in the ether of this huge ass mansion, and I was just trying to enjoy my moments with my friends, and I just thought like, I'm gonna be okay either way. Like, no matter what happens, I will be fine. No matter what happens with me and Talkies, I will be great. At that point, we all just like kind of fell asleep outside, and I woke up probably, I want to say, around noon, and everyone was making breakfast and hanging out and playing categories. One of my friends was like, hey, I'm going to drive back to Beverly Hills. I can go ahead and just drop you back at Hollywood at your place if you want to go and see if Talkies is there. I was like, oh yeah, also because the dog sitter is going to be wanting to leave around that time, so let's do it. My friend takes me back to the house. I fully expected and was hoping that Talkies was going to be passed out in our house with the dogs and that he had just accidentally come home to change, fell asleep, and then forgot to call me. Like, that's what I was thinking. I get there, no Talkies. I walk in, the dogs are there, the sitter's there, I greet her, I pay her, she leaves. feed the dogs. I'm like, okay, sit on the couch. I'm like, where is this man? I am calling and texting him, and now I'm mad. Because I'm like, now you have worried me. I am also coming off of a bad trip, and my dopamine levels are non existent and in the basement. So I am not feeling good. Finally, this man calls me at like 4 p.m. And I am absolutely livid. I'm like, where have you been? I missed you on New Year's Eve. You didn't call me. You've been gone half the day. You know what? Don't even come home because I don't want to hear excuses. And he's like, look, I went to a party that some of the people were throwing at work and we had a little bit too much to drink and I just fell asleep there. I'm like, you are absolutely diabolical. You have forgotten that you are married. You have forgotten your vows. You've forgotten that you're in this damn country because of me. You didn't even call me to wish me a good New Year's Eve. And you literally have been gone all day. And he's like, I don't want to hear it. I'm really hungover. I'm really tired. I'm like, no, you know what? Don't even come home. Like, I am so over you. Don't even come home. And he's like, well, I need to come home and get clothes. I was like, fine. You can come by, get some clothes, but I think that you should probably spend the night at your friend's house the next couple nights because I am absolutely pissed at you. I had a horrible trip. You didn't even check up on me. I felt super unsafe and you left me alone there. And thank God for our good friends that took care of me, but I'm over you right now. Just come get your stuff and then take it away, go stay wherever, and then I will deal with you later. He literally comes over an hour later. I'm in the bedroom. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. I'm sitting on the bed facing the wall. He comes in. He's like, oh, you're not even going to say hi to me? I was like, get your stuff and leave. And he's like, are you serious? I'm like, absolutely, I'm serious. Say hi to the dogs, get your shit, get out of here. He's like, ugh. He's like, fine. I will be back in a couple days. I'm going to go stay at Dino's. I'll be back in a couple days. And then we can talk once you've calmed down and realize that you're just having a bad trip, calm down, and that you're overreacting. Because I am working really, really hard. I'm working 12 to 14 hours a day so that you can have the life that you want. What? And you're not treating me well. I'm like, okay, sir, you're not going to gaslight me today. Now, while he was there, he had changed in the bedroom while I was facing the other way, so I didn't see what he was doing, gone into the bathroom, taken a shower, got his stuff, and he had left. Next morning, I wake up in the morning. I am still not feeling 100%. I get up, I make some breakfast and everything, and then I realize that now it is like 10 a.m. and Taki's texts me and he says that he's going to be home in a little bit because he forgot to pick something up. And I'm like, whatever, fine. I'm not talking to you. You can come in, grab your shit, and then leave. He's like, okay, fine. I will text you when I'm getting close. I was feeling terrible still because I had been taken to hell and back, remember? So my dopamine levels were still trying to inch their way back up to the surface. I decided I'm going to take a nap. Now, I always took a nap in the living room because I always felt like whenever I take a nap in the bedroom or in my bed, then it's like harder for me to get up. So I would always take a nap on the couch. I was feeling extra shitty, so I decided I was going to take a nap in the bedroom. I go lay in the bed and I'm napping. I want to say that I fell asleep for like an hour. I wake up out of a deep sleep to my phone text messages and I just kind of like look over and there's a text from Takis and he's like, I'll be home in a few minutes. I'm like, ugh, this gross man. I hear the garage door opening and him coming into the parking garage underneath us. I'm like, all right. He's down there and I'm like figuring that he's going to come up soon, but maybe he's grabbing stuff or maybe he's like texting or whatever. Again, I don't usually sleep in the bedroom during that time and napping, but this is how the universe takes care of us girlies. I'm like getting up, kind of like trying to like wake up. And then all of a sudden I hear a da-da-da-da-ding. Our bedroom, the way it was set up is here's the bed, here's the door. There is a nightstand right here between the door and the bed. And there's like a tiny bit of space right here because of the way the platform bed was shaped. So something could have fallen back there. I hear something. I noticed that something is ringing from like the side of Taki's area where he was changing right next to the door. I'm like, what is that? I look down, searching in between the area between the bed and the dresser, and I see that it's his Apple Watch. Now, I don't know how Apple Watches work now because that ain't my forte in the technological space. But at that time, it would sync up and you would get the messages when your phone was close by. So Takis had come in, he was in the garage, and now his phone had synced up to his Apple Watch. I'm assuming that he had come up because he realized he left his Apple Watch there. He never did that. He always had his Apple Watch, but in his rush, I guess, when he'd come the night before, he had forgotten it, and it had dropped in between the bed and the dresser. I pick it up. And y'all, now proceeds the moment of truth, the moment that every woman hates to see. My heart dropped. This is what I saw on his Apple Watch. Oh, look, our dear Veronica. And he says to her, would you like it if I told you that I can spend the night with you? We can do whatever you want. And then he says, also, you can text me on my phone. No need for WhatsApp anymore. And then Her Floridian 18-year-old highness says, oh, okay, yeah, I stayed at a friend's house. Yes, babies, yes. Now, obviously, when I say this is one of the worst moments, come to Jesus, heart-dropping, palpitating, heartbreaking moments that I've ever had in my life, that was it. To see the proof right there in front of me when I wasn't even trying to look for it, and knowing that he had been hiding it from me from a long time, and the one place that he hadn't shown me on his phone when he had showed me like all the texts through there showing that he was innocent was through the WhatsApp app, that's how they were communicating. I was equally horrified, equally knew that all my suspicions were true. It is a feeling that I do not wish on anyone. And to all my girlies out there that have ever experienced this level of pain, I see you and I love you and you are so strong. And the fact that I got through that, if you're going through something like that, I promise you, you will be fine. And I will get into all this aftermath stuff after and how I was able to heal and everything. But this was a canon moment and a moment that I don't wish on any woman. So this has happened all in a split second, and I don't really have a lot of time to figure out what I'm going to do because the man is going to come up any second, get his watch, and I need to figure out how I'm going to play this. So I immediately take the pictures and the evidence on my phone, I put it back on the nightstand, and I call my best friend. And I'm like, girl, this is what's going on. And she's like, okay, what the actual hell? How do you want to handle this? As she's quickly trying to talk me through this, the door starts to open, and in comes Talkies. Yes, babies, episode 19, the confrontation with Talkies, telling him that I have found his dirty little secret on his watch, and all the aftermath of that. Thank you for being on this journey. I love y'all so much. And again, anyone that's been through this, I see you and I'm here for you. Always know that I am here for you. I love you guys so, so, so much. I hope you're having a wonderful day.